Welcome to Creative Pages with Catherine. I'm Catherine, and it's time for the next challenge in my 101 sketch page challenge that I am taking on this year. I am going to be tackling page 10, and I actually am going to be using Fur Baby Cat because when I saw this page, I thought, that kitty is just too cute. Let's make it. I'll talk y'all through it. I did make a couple of minor changes, but it just was the right page for the right paper pack. As of right now, when I'm filming this video, the Fur Baby Cat paper is still available along with the album cover with the paw prints on it. So if you want to make your own kitty also, you can. You just need to grab the paper pack. I also will be linking the blog post to this video if you don't have the sketchbook, and you're going to want to go to the blog post if you want to make the kitty, because that's where it is. Kylie Kingham, one of our advisors in Australia, is the one that designed the original blog post, and she did such a cute job. Just thought, let's give her credit and let's go ahead and make this fun little kitty. So let's get started. Okay, so if you have been following along with these challenges, I am starting out with a lower lighting. So that way, if you would like to get a screenshot of my pencil marks on my book, I just didn't want to write in my book in pen, and the pencil shows up better with a lower light. And then I will go back to my regular lighting for the actual putting together of the page. So here I've printed out the blog instructions for the cat. I did make several notes on my sheet that I will talk you through, not to worry. But I did follow it reasonably close, I guess, for me. Just the cat part, though. I am switching up the rest of the I am switching up the rest of the layout. Go figure. It's kind of what I do. And I did not layer as much paper as what she did in her original post. And I am turning it into a 2-page layout. We are going to use the paw print on both sides of the page for our base. The back side has the cat trees on it. And we're going to start on the right side of the page this time. Usually I start on the left, but we're actually going to start on the right this time because that's where my kitty is going to be, is on this right corner, kind of like how it does appear in our inspiration piece here. So I have gone ahead and pre-cut everything. Let me get myself situated here. I've got my border mat. I've got my repositionable tape because we're going to need it. You are also going to need foam squares for the kitty. You can see I have a lot of little post-it notes so I don't get lost, but I wanted to make this kind of quickly for you all, as I usually do. One of the things you will need is your custom cutting system ovals. You also, if you don't have the piece by piece mini trio punch set, it's a little bit trickier, but you can hand cut the pieces that we use the punch for. For me, it was the heart, the 2 pupils for the eye, and the little mouth that we're going to use on the cat, which are also the ones mentioned in the blog post. Every once in a while, it seems like Creative Memories has brought back that punch set, so keep an eye out. You might still be able to get your hands on it. Okay, so the first thing you do, let me actually look at the instructions here. With the outside edge of the smallest custom cutting system oval pattern red blade, cut 1 oval from designer paper for the body. So this one is my body. I am using the polka dot paper that has the paw prints on the back side, and I will be using the paw prints for some of my mats. You can actually see it here later because I wanted to be a little more frugal with my paper. This is what's left of my paper. I tried to cut with purpose when I cut my ovals. And so I also did go ahead and pre-cut out these extra bits to make the body shape. And I am going to go ahead and take off my Post-it note. Go figure. Let's see how this works out for me. The second step, trim another oval from the same designer paper using the inside edge of the large custom system oval and the red blade for the head. So our head is here. We took another oval with the red blade from the largest custom cutting system oval pattern. Our head is going to go here. We're going to put this on foam squares, I believe, to give it a little extra definition and dimension, but I kind of want to get it placed on my paper first and talk you through what changes I made before I start taping things together here. Add here the smaller triangular ear shape over the top of the larger, oops, hang on. So we can cut the ears next. And so I have my larger ears pieces are from the same paper here. So I have my polka dot paper and I just flipped over my paper and I traced it. You can see here on the back side of my paper, and I did that. I cut one and then I traced the first one and cut the second one so that way they would match. So my ears are matching here. Then what I did was, because the instructions say, hang on, repeat this on a contrasting piece of paper. So I wasn't good enough to free draw the inside of the ear. So what I did was I took the same one that I drew. I took one of these and I put it on my other paper, and I will show you if I can. Oh no, I got rid of that scrap. Well, I'm using the pink paper with the what looks like cat ears on it with the green meows on the back. So what I did was I took one of my ears that I had. I took it at the bottom piece of the paper. I traced it. And then what I did was I drew inside of this to what would look good to actually make the inside of my ear. So I want to put this, and you can see they're going to layer nicely. And then I took this one that I cut out, and then I put it next to it and I traced it and I made a second one. So that's how I did my ears and my inner ears. You can follow the blog or you can use my tip. It's up to you. Okay, what is next? Let's see. So we've got those. So that goes on the inside of that. All right, adhere the smaller triangles into the larger triangles. Portion behind the head. Use foam squares to adhere the head to the body. Okay. So let's go ahead and attach our ears to our head. Oops, here's my other Post-it note from my ear, so I would forget to tell you all I traced those. Let's go ahead and use repositionable tape here to stick these on. And it doesn't have to be exactly to the bottom of your ear, because these are going to go behind our head. So you're going to want a little bit of repositionable tape across the bottom of your ears. And then those are going in behind our head here. So there we go. One ear, two ear. I feel like one of my ears is a little short, so I want to bring that one out a little bit further. There we go. Okay, cute. I'm not going to put the foam squares on yet because we still have to put a face on our cat. So we'll come back to that step. Next, it says, from the same designer paper as the body and the head, cut 2 3/4 inch by 1.5 inch pieces. Adhere one behind the body as a leg on a slight angle. Adhere the other at the same angle on top of the body with foam squares. So I actually, when I cut my pieces, I used my corner rounder on one end to round it because I knew when I wanted my leg that was going to be shown in the front, I wanted it to kind of have a little more of a rounded effect, kind of like our natural effect of our arms and legs. They have a little bit of a rounded look to it. This is my corner rounder. Whoops. Sorry about that. And you can see, it's not perfectly round. I just kind of took the end in and punched it. And again, on this one as well. And I just took it and I punched it. And that's up to you whether you want to add that detail or not. So one's going to go behind. And that one just goes behind. So I'm just actually going to put that one that isn't as even just behind up here. There's one leg because we're going to cover this with a foot. And this one is supposed to be on a foam square. Again, I want to add my foot before I stick it on. So I'll put a foam square behind this one to remind me that it's going to go on a foam square, but I'm not going to take the sticky part off yet, just in case I need to maneuver it. You just never know. Once you get a foam square stuck down, it's stuck down. Okay, back to our instructions then. Okay, with the inside of the smallest custom cutting system oval pattern and the green blade, cut 2 ovals from cardstock. And they recommend charcoal, but I used hot fudge because I had a little piece of hot fudge left over from another project. So if you have, brown, white, black, charcoal, hot fudge, whatever you want to use, go ahead and use that. So I switched mine up to hot fudge. So that's what my feet are going to be, hot fudge. Adhere the paws to each leg. So you can see where that's going to cover up those sharp edges that I mentioned that were on the bottom of each of my legs. Here we go. And so we'll put this one on here because that one we did stick down. And I don't want it actually stuck to the page yet. So I'm going to lift that up just a hair. And then this one is going on my other leg here. So there we go. We have our feet and our legs kind of sorted out for our kitty. Next, using the decorative trimmer, cut wavy strip from designer paper. The same paper as the head and the body. So here's my tail. And you can see it does have the wave to it. I did use my 12-inch decorative trimmer. And I fed in my paper from the right side of the page. And, of course, my paper going in. I didn't use this paper, but I'm just going to show you as an example. So we have, we're using this right side of the trimmer here, this lighter wave. I fed in my paper to this first grid box beyond the higher bump. And then I cut my paper. And then I fed it in. I counted 3 more from the top bump, 1, 2, 3, and then I cut again in order to get my wavy piece that I then cut down to, hang on, I gotta look, that one I do need to look up. I don't know if that was on my Post-it. Hang on. Nope, I just have tail on here. Okay. So this one got cut down. So it said 3/4 of an inch by 1 1/4. Wait, hang on. 3/4 of an inch by 4 inches. Okay. So what I did was I did go ahead and cut the full 12-inch sheet because that's what I had when I started working with it. And then I took and I actually turned it sideways on my 13 by 13 cutting mat. I cut it 4 inches with my scissors. You can also do that on your trimmer. And then the next instruction says to round the end with the scissors. Well, I already had my corner rounder out. So I went ahead and I rounded it with my corner rounder. I'm leaving confetti on my thing here. Okay. So I used my corner rounder, and now I did put it in where I got the ends first, and then I pushed it in a little further to get this other rounded part. So now after you do all that, the next step is cut a contrasting piece of paper, the same as the inner ears, for the end of the tail to measure 3/4 of an inch by 1 1/4 inch. Well, what I did again was I took my tail that I already had cut. I put it on my 13 by 13 mat. I measured 1 1/4 inch, and I drew this on the back side of the page. So that way I would have a tail end that matched my end that I already have. So that's kind of how I did that off the edge of the page. If you all need a short done for me to show you anything that I did that was slightly different than the blog, please leave me a comment and let me know. It's a cute cat, but it definitely is a little bit complex. So let me, and then hang on, let's see. Okay, yep, I scissor cut this one. So, and rather than the corner, so basically I just wound up following the line that my corner rounder made. I'm going to go ahead and use my repositionable tape on this one as well and add it to the end of my tail. And I guess it really doesn't matter where you put it, because you can stick your tail in as far as you want to stick it in. So here's that, and our tail can be longer or shorter. I guess maybe I won't mind coming down just a little bit more, but we want it to be on the page as well. And next it says to freehand cut some strips of the same paper to act as stripes for the body and adhere in place. So it's up to you if you want to do that. I thought I might add my backside from doing the oval, the body shape part of the oval, but I actually don't think so. I think I like my kitty with the dots, so I think I'm going to leave just the dots. So if you decide you want to add your stripes, you can think about using your remnants of your oval that you cut to make the body shape, or you can freehand some other strips from your scrap of paper that you cut for maybe your inner ears or the backside of your body paper, which is what this is here. All right, so I need to stick down, I think, some of this because we're going to get into our face next. And I think that'll be... I didn't want to stick the face down yet because I knew we had whiskers and all kinds of things to add to it. But I think I will adhere my tail to my body. So let's get that on here. Whoops. I want it coming up from a little bit lower here, closer to where my legs are. And there we go. And then I will go ahead and put my other leg on with my foam square. So there we go with that. And now we're going to work on our face just a little bit. And I think I will wait to adhere the entire kitty down. So my face is here. These were scraps. Those are going out of the way. My whiskers and my face pieces. So let me continue on here and I'll tell you what I did. Trim a very narrow strip of, and I'm using hot fudge cardstock, and cut into 3.5 inch pieces. So I took my 12-inch piece of hot fudge cardstock I had, and I cut it at 1/8 of an inch on my trimmer, and then I cut it at the 3.5 inches to get to 1/8 of an inch on your 12-inch trimmer. Your dotted line on your cutting mat on the left is where your blade runs. If you go just to the dotted line on the right, that's 1/8 of an inch. Again, if you guys want me to do a short for any of these tips, please let me know in the comments below this video. Like I said, this is definitely a little bit more complex than what I usually do, but it just was too cute to not try. Next, using the Precision Point adhesive pen, adhere them as whiskers to your face. All right, so if you're not familiar with our Precision Point adhesive, it is a glue pen, essentially. It's almost like a ballpoint pen. You just can put a little dot of glue where you want it. And I think I'm going to go right here in the middle. It comes out blue. And then you just glue down what you need to glue down. It dries clear. So I'm going to go ahead and angle these a little bit as I go. And one more strip for the middle here. And it does take a few minutes to dry, but it'll already start being tacky pretty quickly. All right, so there are my 3 whiskers down. And we will need the Precision Point adhesive again, probably for our pupils on our eyes, but let's continue on with the instructions as well. All right, with the inside edge of the smallest custom cutting system oval pattern and the blue blade, cut 2 eyes from white cardstock. You can also use your index sheet that comes with your designer paper pack, which is the insert paper, or it has many names. I usually call it the index sheet. So here are my eyes that are going to be on my kitty. There's 1. There is 2. And adhere to the face with foam squares. With the larger circle and crescent moon cutouts from the Piece by Piece Mini Trio punch set, cut 2 circles for the irises and a crescent moon for the mouth. With the, I'm replacing the charcoal with hot fudge again. Cardstock, adhere in place. And I also am using, for the next step, the heart as well. I did from the hot fudge. I could have done it from the pink, but I opted not to because when you're punching with that punch, you already get this one. So I just went ahead and went with it. All right, so these are going to be on foam squares, but I want to get the pupils on first. So I'm going to add just a little bit of glue. You need to kind of pick it up with your fingernail, or maybe your reversible tweezers could work as well. And you kind of want to offset your eyes just a little bit. You don't want your kitty to be cross-eyed, but you also don't want it to look scary, I guess, either. I don't know, creepy. We don't want a creepy kitty at all. All right, so let me get those in just a moment. My nose is going to go here. So I actually was perfectly okay with having a brown kitty nose. With my heart, I'm going to use just a little bit more of my adhesive in the middle of my whiskers. Here we go. So there's that. And our mouth needs to go kind of down and off to the side just a little bit. So again, just a tiny bit of glue. You can see it's already sticking to my finger from where I picked up those other ones. Let's see if I can get this flipped over. These are small pieces to work with. And got a little bit on the top of my fingernail as well here, going off to the side. There we go. You kind of want it to be a little jaunty there. Now, foam squares are back here. I'm going to grab my microtip scissors, which have a special coating on them, so when I cut through a lot of sticky things with it, they don't get gooped up. And I went ahead and cut my smallest foam square on my foam square sheet here in half. And I'm going to put one half behind one eye, one half behind the other eye here. If I can get it unstuck from my finger. Sometimes it's hard to tell which end is up, but you know when it sticks to you which end is the sticky end, right? Okay. Here, stick it down and try to get the paper off. There we go. And now get the paper off of this side. Okay. Make sure I don't have any more glue on my fingers, hopefully. Here's one eye. And here is a second eye. And there we go. There is my kitty face. We're going to put it on our kitty head. And instead of using the foam squares, I am going to use my foam tape, because otherwise I think it's just going to take too many foam squares, and I want to make sure it's a little more secure. Preserve some of my foam squares a bit here. There we go. Okay. Microchip scissors put away, foam square sheet put away, and whoops, don't want to cover up my instructions here. All right, so this is going to go on here. So let's stick down our body first then, I guess, and then we'll angle our head onto our body. Let's see here. Oh, cute, 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 cute. So there we go. My kitty's going to go right about here. Let's go ahead and just do this way. Going up here. Put a little, kind of like how I did the hexagons on that one layout before, but it makes it a little bit easier to know exactly where to put your tape. If you've got it on your page already, and with the repositionable, you can just rub off what winds up being extra, or use your, I guess this one is with the foam square, you don't really need to stick it down so much. There we go. So that one's kind of up a bit more. And now, here we go, my little dotted kitty. Whoops. Getting my backing off of my foam tape here. This kitty head is not going to go anywhere. All right. So there we go. One really super cute kitty for our page. Whew. And now, put away your precision point adhesive. I'm probably going to need the repositionable again, maybe. Yes, I am, because I have a laser cut border I'm going to be using. But for the rest of this right side of the page, I have a mat, a couple mats, and a couple of our embellishments. I think this is it. Okay. So I pulled out, oh, you know what I forgot to mention? I did pull out 2 mats from our mat pack. These are those 2. This one is our 4x6 mat. Pause to enjoy the good life. And so you can leave this as just a decorative element on your page, or you can cover that part with a photo as well, or you can just take this white part and put a photo in here. This is one of our 4.5 by 6.5 mats. It does have the dots like our kitty and our background do. It has some stripes on the back of that one. I'm going to get my adhesive going here so we can get these on the page. And then you'll see what else we're going to add. I also did cut 2 4.25 by 6.25 mats from our paper that we used to do the highlights, the one with the pink background, had the paw prints on it. So that's where my mats for my other side of the page came from. And it also goes with this paw print that's already on our base page. And I cut a 4-inch by 2-inch journal box for the other side of the page as well. So we had this really cute fur baby, and I was going to put it down at the bottom, but now my kitty's taking up more space than I thought. So we're going to put that here, I think. That should fit nicely without interfering with my photos. And we also have this little cat tower. I'm not sure if I'm going to keep the cat tower, but I did want the fur baby because the coloring just goes so well with our base page. And this is one of the fur baby cat embellishments from the embellishment pack. If you don't have this, don't worry about it. You can get one of your markers out and write in fur baby if you want. You can get some of your letters. The What is Zoo 2 has the dotted letters that would go really well with this page as well. So let's get the left side of the page now. Since I'm doing this backwards, here we go. For this side, I did pull out 2 more of our laser cut borders, the paws and the cats. They just seem to work for me. And then this is where on the inspiration paper, there's a lot of other papers. And for me, I decided to work in a couple of borders. If you have the fur baby cat stickers, you can use the border sticker that came with that. I believe it's hearts. And so that would work also on this page. But I thought, you know what, I've got them. I want to use them. So they're going on to my page. And it really works with the cat on the other side too. So some of this collection just sold out so fast. We also had that paw print punch that came out around the same time with this collection. So you could easily add, if you were lucky enough to get the paw punch, you could easily add that as well from cardstock going up the side of the page. But that one sold like gangbusters as well. And I didn't necessarily want to use that one. I wanted to use these because they just worked for me with the sizing and with the paper. So, I had a second 4x6 mat. My apologies. I missed it when I was doing my writing on my cheat sheet here. So it's 2 4x6 mats from the mat pack and 1 4.5 by 6.5 mat from the mat pack. And this is the one with the shadow cats on it, which of course go really well with our kitties on our border here. And then I did the 2 from our scrap of the paper that I used to make our kitty on the other side of the page. So, like I said, I really tried to cut those ovals with purpose and my pieces. So you can see on my scrap, here's my ovals. Here's where I cut some of the other elements that went onto my page. So I knew I would hopefully be able to get a couple mats out of it. Well, that was from this one. This one is the other one. No, that is from that one. That's the one that has the dots on the back. Sorry. Getting my papers confused. And then finally I decided to add a little journal box as well. So I have this 4x2 strip that I'm just going to put in here as the journal box because like I showed you on the other side, we have that little bit of white space. But, I probably won't journal in that. And so it's nice to have another option for journaling, or maybe you just have a lot that you want to say about your kitty. And with that, you can have the extra journal box on your page as well. This one was just part of a leftover index sheet, cover sheet, whatever you want to call them. That's what I used for it. In fact, I think it was a scrap I had left over from doing another one of these sketch challenges. Okay, that one still needs tape, but I want to place this one lightly because the other one is going to go underneath. My journal box is going to go underneath my two mats. This one needs to go over here. Oops. Make sure I have enough space within my spacing here. Something is crooked. Maybe a little bit. That's okay. All right. So it looks like it actually just fits. I'm going to work on centering it-ish a little bit. Not exactly center. I kind of don't mind that it's going to be offset a bit. If it bothers you, get out your zero centering ruler and center it. It does not bother me, so I am going to leave it where it is at. There we go. And I also have a little mouse sticker for the side of the page that I just thought was too cute to tease our kitties with over here. I am going to add a foam square underneath this one as well, and I probably am going to wind up cutting one of these in half again. Just so that way this end of the tail doesn't sag on the page also when I put my page protector on, when I get my photos onto my page. There we go. It's not exactly half, but close enough. I didn't need it too wide. I don't want it to show underneath the mouse at all. So I just needed a skinny piece. There we go. All right. So here is the left side of my page. And I'm going to bring in the right side again and see if I want the cat tower or not. Move this out of the way a little bit. I'll probably bring it back in if I decide I want the cat tower. But if nothing else, at least I can get both pages on camera here for you. So it's cute without it, but I think it does add just that little bit of an extra element to the page over here. So I am going to add the cat tower as well. And it does, like I said, it repeats the colors of this and also of the paws. So it really does seem to fit as well. So here is the right side with my kitty up close. And there we go. Let me know what y'all think of my interpretation of the sketch. So I will show you the inspiration piece again. So here is the original one from the blog. It did have 3, and you can actually add another photo here if you'd like as well, maybe a 4x4 down here and cover up this paw print since you have the paw print on the other side as well. But we've got our 3 photos here. You can put your photos here and then one more here as well if you want, or you can just leave the paw print. Sometimes I wait to see. But the 2 border pieces were inspired by her having the layering of the paper and the different elements here. I just didn't add the second piece going through, but we have our cat tower that adds interest as well. So a little bit of a simpler base page with our cute kitty on there. Not as many paper layers for the rest of it, but hopefully it shows you can combine a little more complex and a little bit of a simpler layout as well. And use elements that you get with your buy it all bundles or that you may purchase separately as well. So hopefully I've given you some ideas of how to replace some of these other elements if you don't have the access to them. But this is all cardstock and paper, and the paper, when I film this, is still available. So let me get our card going here as well. because one of the other things I am doing is challenging myself to create a card, either inspired by the layout or to use up some scraps from the layout. And you can see here, I am using scraps from my layout and adding some stickers as well. This was the back side of our pink that we used for our kitty. So I have one of our blank cards from our blank card kit. I am going to add some tape because we are going to be using the meow side of this paper. This piece is 4 1/4 by 5 1/2 that I cut from our paper that we used on the inside of the kitty ears and tail, our highlight paper, I guess. And then this piece you might recognize I took from cutting our tail. So the way I cut this was, so it's going to go here on my card. I put this on my 12-inch trimmer. Let me see if I can actually put it back together here to show you all. And then I cut one end just at this dip here. And then I turned it sideways on my trimmer. And then I cut it the other part at 5 1/2. So that way I could have this nice decorative element for my paper here, or for my card here. Goodness, I am getting hungry. It's almost lunchtime here. Just want to add just a little bit of repositionable there to reinforce that just a little bit. And we're going to use repositionable tape on this as well. All right, so this is going to go up the right side of my card, which is the side that I am opening from. I did pay attention when I cut my meow paper. It is directional. You want to be able to read the meows. And here I've got these were all 3 together on our sticker sheet: the little kitty bowl, the So Spoiled, and the kitty. And I thought, you know what? If you have a friend that's adopted a cat recently, this might be a fun card to send them. You know, kind of like a welcome to the family sort of card. I'm going to put 2 of our smaller foam squares over here on the cat to pop it up, which means if I mail this one, I need to add a little bit of extra postage. I am in the US, so keep that in mind. There's our kitty. I just like that this brown kitty kind of went with the kitty that we made on our page as well. And then our So Spoiled. So if you have a friend that's adopted a kitty and you know that that's going to be their fur baby and they're going to spoil it, how's about that for just a quick card to put together to send a friend adopting a cat? I'm sure if you have the dog version, you could do something similar as well with some scraps. So there you go. That's it. Like I said earlier, please leave me a comment if you need me to make a short off of any of those cat components, or just leave me a comment. Let me know how your day is going if you want. I'm here. And leave me a thumbs up if you liked my interpretation of the sketch from page 10. Until next time.